my loves, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Merryliving and I welcome you all to Merryliving. If this is your first time bumping into this pretty face, please do not make it your last, okay? Consider subscribing. And if you're a returning subscriber, mwah, thank you so much for joining this beautiful family, okay? I really do appreciate. Yes, you saw that thumbnail and the title, and that is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be talking about how I met my darling husband, okay? So without further ado, let us jump right into this video.
Yeah.
So guys, yes, like I said, we're going to be discussing how I met my husband. And just grab your popcorn, take your ice cream, bring your drink, and sit down for this sumptuous gist, okay? Yes, I've never done something like this before anyway, but I hope I do better. I met my husband April of 2019. Yes, I can't say for sure what date, but I know it should be around middle of April 2019. I'm saying I don't know what date exactly because I only realized after, we started talking that, oh, this was actually when I met him. And at the time, I was working with MTN in Portharcourt, one of the MTN franchises in Portharcourt. And I was in charge of their, MTN gadgets and Wi-Fi and, all that good stuff. So my husband happened to be one of my customers, okay? This was around the time when people needed to do SIM updates, and so we had an influx at the shop, okay? A lot of people, needed to have their SIM cards updated because, MTN was blocking numbers or SIM cards that haven't been updated at the time. So my husband came to the shop not for SIM card updates. He actually needed to get a new SIM. So, just an innocent person working there, somebody walked up to me. By somebody, I mean the man, the hubby. He walked up to me and, requested, to get a new SIM card. And then I told him, okay, sir, you have to queue with others, okay? Because like I said, it was an influx. People were a lot in the office. So you needed to have them in an orderly way so that it would be easy to attend to each and every one of them. Do you understand? So yeah, when I told him, he was like, okay. So I gave him a form to fill. Of course, if you want to get a new SIM card, you have to fill out the form. He filled it and came back and says, okay, so do I need to queue with all these people here? I'm like, yes, I know that you're not here for SIM update, but it's going through almost the same process, so you have to queue. And he was like, okay, no problem. So I think maybe in his mind, he was thinking it's something that he would just stay for maybe around 5 minutes, 10 minutes and, vavavoom. Everything is just, like you just have to flick a magic wand and everybody will disappear and then it will get to his turn. I don't know what he had in mind. But then he stays for, say, somewhere around 5 to 10 minutes. He came back to me and was like, sorry, I'm saying that the line is not moving. And I'm like, yes, that's because we have low network. So he was like, okay, is it possible for me to go about what I want to do and then come back and still meet I said, okay, I don't know. I'm not in control of how these things work, okay? I only know that when it's your turn, you'll be called upon for your own problem to be solved. So he was like, okay, you know what, I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed, go and do whatever it is I have to do, and just be hopeful that I'll come back in time for my own ish. I'm like, oh cool, no problem. So he left. When he left, I can't say again how long it took him because I honestly can't remember for sure, but I think it took him around another 30 minutes to an hour. He came back and then he came back to me and met the same crowd that was there when he left, and it was like, what's happening? I'm like, oh dear, I'm actually very sorry, but it's not my doing. That network is still down. They've not attended to anybody, so we're still having encountering the same issue. I saw that he was restless, but there was nothing I could do because network was really down. When network picked up, I just told him, okay, you know what, let me have your stuff. He gave me everything that he has. I went to one of my friends behind the computer. told her, please, a friend of mine is here, please can you help me fast track his SIM card? Okay, yes, you know that these things happen, right? You know that these things happen. For instance, you work in a bank and there's a long queue and your family member is there. Now this is not, it doesn't happen in all cases, okay, but you are more prone to, you know, just helping them the best way possible, the easiest way possible. But the issue is, I don't know this person, but you know, the fact that I made him go come, like, it's not my fault, but it was just very calm. I'm like, okay, you know what, don't worry, let me help you out. So I met, you know, the friend that is behind the computer, and she was like, okay, don't worry, I'm going to do this. She did it, and before you say Jack and Jill, he was called for capturing and thumbprinting, and then his SIM card came forth. So he came back to me and was like, oh, thank you so much, I have my SIM card. I was like, yeah, all you need now is to make sure you make a phone call between the next 24 to 48 hours. That's MTN requirements. Yes, your line will be blocked. And then he was like, okay, how about your number being the first number I call with this SIM card? I was like, smooth, okay. I didn't bother. I was like, oh, okay, no problem, sure, have my number. I gave him the number, he dialed me, I picked, you know, let's just be like he made a call and then dropped the call again. So he thanked me and left. Told me his name, of course. He told me his name. My name is Chukwemeka. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm Mary. I was like, okay, nice meeting you. And you know, that was it for that day. Honestly, this happens every single day. You help people, they ask for your number. Some of them might even ask for your number, you know, not for anything shady, not for anything, you know, just for, okay, for them to be up to date with MTN services. Probably if they want anything in the office, they can just have somebody fast track things for them. Do you understand? So, but I don't know if that was the case for him at the time. He collected my number and that was it. Some days later, this man calls me and was like, that same week, actually, yeah, that same week, I think this was on either a Thursday or a Friday, he calls me and says, hi. I'm like, hello, who is this? He said, oh, it's me, Chukwemeka, the guy you helped at MTN. Shall I explain himself? And I'm like, okay, I hope there's no problem. It's like, no, there's no problem at all. I just wanted to know how you're doing and ask if we could go out, you know, just hang out on Saturday. And I just flipped for no reason. I actually was in a bad mood that day, but you know, I shouldn't have taken it out on him. I just flipped and like, what makes you think I'm less busy to just follow you on these dates or, you know, to hang out with you? Like, that outburst was not needed. I quickly recollected myself, but then, you know, pride would not let me just say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for that to come out like that. But I just left it like that. And he was like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to offend you, it's okay. I'm like, oh, no problem, it's fine. It was like, yeah, no problem, you know, so have a nice day. The call ended on a very awkward note. Then I called my friend Praise. I called and was like, one guy like that who I met at MTN who called me and asked me, you know girls, we tell each other these things. And she was like, which one is that one? Like, if you see the way we actually discussed it, it was actually very funny. The next week came in, he calls me again, and by this time I honestly have not saved this number because I honestly was not interested. I did not think there was a big deal there. Do you understand? So when he calls me again another time on a different, I think sometime next week, or I don't know how long this time around, he calls me, I picked, and he was like, hi, how are you doing? How's everything? Are you okay now? Is it okay for us to go out, you know, hang out? And I just could not, I didn't want to come off as, you know, a problematic person or a quarrelsome person. So I just gave in and was like, okay, no problem. Saturday is fine, right? He was like, yeah, Saturday is fine. And I'm like, okay, so you come pick me by the office. I close at such and such time, and then we can go. He was like, cool. So before my office closed that Saturday, he was already packed in front. You know when girl is tracking you. So it was already parked in front. The moment I closed, I packed up and left. I went to meet him at the car park. I looked at the car. The person driving was definitely him because the face just, it clicked. And I was like, hi. And there were two other people in the car, his cousin, his female cousin, and his friend. And I said hello to all of them, hopped in the car, and then we made our way. So went to this very nice cafe, stayed there. But then something funny happened. When we got to the table, his cousin and his friend left, gave us space. They gave us privacy. They just went to another table and left that table for both of us to get to know each other. And then I knew instantly that my husband was a shy person, that the man, not my husband because we weren't married at the time, but then I knew that he was a shy person, and I didn't want to be too forward with, so I just decided to, let's move with the flow. And then we were talking. There was a magazine on the coffee table. We picked it up. We laughed over some things in the magazine, discussed. And when his cousin and friend noticed that we've started, really talking, they came back to the table and was like, have you met each other before now? I was like, no, that was the first time we're meeting each other. And I was like, so if we're talking freely like this, okay, that's good. That's a great sign. Yeah, so that was how everything started. From there we started having phone conversations, outings. About a month later, this man asked me out. We met in April and he asked me out in May. Okay, so by this time in my mind I thought this person was already my boyfriend. Do you understand? And then one day he goes, will you be my girlfriend? I'm like, I thought I was your girlfriend all this while. Okay, so but I didn't say that to him, of course. But then I went, oh sure, yeah. Because the way the oh sure, yeah, came out of my mouth, I could not even believe it, because I was thinking I'll be this type of person that will tell you, okay, you know what, let me think about it. But my dear, what am I to think about? We've already started going out, we've already started hanging out, and then you're telling me to think about, please. I just told him, oh sure, yeah. But yeah, that's how we started dating, and from there, marriage, everything, But yeah, it has been a very beautiful journey. I wouldn't have wanted to do this with any other person, because this man is my person, and I am very happy I get to do life with him. So that is my story. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.